Checking passengers on the service. Please press it for freedom.
I don't think I will ever step foot in Nigeria again for the rest of my life if I can avoid it. I just got deported from Nigeria and it was the most dehumanizing, humiliating experience ever in my life. And it wasn't just because I was getting deported, but it's because how I was treated. And it's absolutely breaking my heart that I have to make this video, because if you know me, you know my love for Nigerians really like go deep, bro. Like, a country that doesn't get the flowers that it rightfully earned and deserved is Nigeria. Listen, I'm obsessed with Nigerians to like an unhealthy level. Like, I love Nigerians so much. The creativity, the tenacity, the drive. Nigerians are built differently. Listen, I just went to Harvard for a speaking engagement, and when I tell you, everybody I met, what's your name? Nkechi, what's your name? Adeola, what's their name? Oluwafemi. I'm like, I felt like I was at a Nigerian convention or something. Which proves what I always knew to be true. Nigerians are just the definition of excellence. I even feel the need to like apologize to like my Nigerian colleagues and like just like all the people from Nigeria that really support me, you know, like I truly champion for Africa, bro. You know what I'm saying? And to get treated like that on African soil, like Nigeria was always the #1 country on my travels list, more than I wanted to even go back to Senegal and Gambia. Like, I swear, like Nigeria is so rich in culture, tradition, and history. And I've always wanted to experience that. I always wanted to submerge myself within that. And I feel like that was robbed of me, not just because of the deportation, but because of like how traumatic the whole experience was and how some of these people were speaking. I'm just like, I don't ever want to have to deal with this again for the rest of my life. So a friend of mine was getting married in and was like, yo, Mo, pull up to my wedding. Like, don't worry about airfare, whatever. I'll pay for all that. So he was basically taking care of everything. So I was like super excited. And I've had this thing where like in every African country I go to, I always want to go to like an orphanage and figure out like, you know, how I can contribute or anything of that sort. So I was like, yo, let me figure out what I can do to give back to the people in Nigeria. So I spent thousands and thousands of dollars of my own money and just was already making connections with people that are out there on the grounds and like figuring out how to like get the fundraiser going and everything. And I feel like also like just the way that charity is done in Africa, it can be very dehumanizing. And I just want to kind of like change how that is done in a sense. As I got to the airport, they were asking me like, what's my visa? And I'm like, oh, the person that invited me like took care of it. But it's because the system in Nigeria was down. They didn't get any like update or anything of that sort. So I had to make an application at the airport and I got the confirmation that the application was submitted. So I thought that once I get to Nigeria, I would get the approval letter, or at least there's something that I can like, you know, figure out there. But that wasn't the case. I got to Nigeria and they were like, oh, your visa's still not approved, but the system is down. We can't even check it. And they took me to an office and I was talking to this one guy and his shift ended and he left. And I was there by myself. Legit, nobody was giving me information, nothing. I was hungry, thirsty, nothing, bro. I even got outside one time trying to speak to somebody and the guy legit ignored me to the point where somebody had to look at him and be like, yo, respond to him. And he was like, what do you want? Like, he was like, just go back over there. I'm just like, that was so disrespectful. I was legit just trying to get an update on what was happening. Mind you, like people walking around, but you don't even know who's an immigration officer or not. Some people are in plain clothing. Some people are showing their badge. Some people are, but it was just so chaotic. After hours of waiting at the Lagos airport, their senior official finally came in and he was even more dismissal. Just legit was like, oh, we sending you back. Within 5 to 10 minutes of him coming, I was already being escorted back to go to the Delta gate for the next flight that was out. So the flight happened to basically like be late, or the door was closed by the time we got there. And they wanted me to stay in their office, bro, for 24 hours. The next flight was 24 hours away. I had to pay out of my own pocket to go get a lounge so I can eat and shower or even get like a beverage, but nothing was offered to me. And it's crazy because some of the shopkeepers that were there like were just so nice, so cute. They always were looking out for me, asking me, oh, do you want anything? Do you want any food? Like always checking to make sure that I was good. And mind you, there were people that were on the same flight as me that would come, and people in regular clothes would come and legit, no badge, no nothing, come escort them all the way before you even reach the passport control. They would come escort them from there. They didn't even scan their passport. And some of the immigration officers were in my face talking about, oh, and they saying, oh, Nigeria is corrupt. Basically saying that like, oh, I guess we ain't so corrupt. But I'm just like, what does everybody else what does that have to do with me? And get this, even the next day that I was getting processed, right in front of my face, the Delta employee was telling the immigration officer, oh, good job. Good. I'm another African man just like you, bro. The blue passport that I carry don't mean nothing, bro. At the end of the day, like have some respect and have some dignity in the way that you treat people. He was just like, oh, good job. Oh, you guys are finally doing a good job. I'm just like, and mind you, this is the same guy that I was trying to upgrade my flight with. And he was just being so dismissal and almost like Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna fly back in economy because the ticket was economy. So I was gonna upgrade. I upgraded my flight by myself when I was going, and so I was gonna do the same thing when I was coming back. And he was just like, "Oh no, we're gonna fly you. We're gonna send you back in economy." Mind you, I have a Delta status, and I was willing to pay for whatever the upgrade was gonna be because I was flying 18 hours the day before just to sleep at the airport. It's 24 hours just to get right back on another plane. Like I feel so heartbroken because like if you know me, like I really rock with Nigerians like heavy, bro. I never in my life thought I would ever sit down and be making this type of video. Never, ever, ever in my life. But I'm a big believer in divine order. So maybe it was just not being meant for me to go to Nigeria. But it's just the way I was treated that really broke my heart by people that look exactly like me. I'm not even asking for you to be nice to me. Just be fair. Like, talk to me. Like, I'm a man just like you.